Hey Eric, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Bob?
I'm good. Hey, is JD been able to resume practicing with you guys, or how's he doing? What's his status for the game?
Yeah, JD is he's practiced a little bit. Probably a game time decision just based on his his wind and not being able to fully practice. So I would say, Bob, see how shoot around goes tomorrow and see how he's feeling as well.
Um, could you picture him? If he plays, it's like in maybe a limited role, like not his usual 30 plus minutes, and if you can get him back, how big would that be? And if you don't get him back, how do you think you guys will react to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think if he's cleared, he's going to be he's going to be cleared. I don't think that it'll be a restriction type. I think it'll just be, hey, is he has he gotten enough reps? Where our trainer feels comfortable and JD feels comfortable. And I think if that's the case, then he'll play. And if they feel that he's not, then he just won't play. But obviously you look at his plus minus, I think heading into the last game, he was the leading scorer in the SEC. You take any leading scorer in any league, off their roster for a game on a road game, not going to be easy for anybody across the country, probably.
Actually, Pippen has him by 0.1, 18.1 to 18.0. So, but pretty even deal there. When was he able to start practicing again?
I don't even know huh? Yeah, Friday he did some shooting, and then Saturday came back and did some limited practice reps.
Okay, it's got a couple more if time allows. Thanks.
Touch.
Yeah, Coach, speaking of Pippen, I'm curious what kind of challenges he presents and how has his game maybe changed or evolved since you first faced him?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that obviously can really, really score the ball. Their chemistry surrounding him this year is really good as well. Coach Stackhouse has done a great job from a personnel standpoint, adding pieces. But he's a high volume free throw attempt player. You got to be a disciplined defender when you guard him. You can't gamble. You got to have high basketball IQ defensively as an individual defender, as well as your team defense. Really good in transition, can obviously shoot the three, and with his ability to go to the basket and shoot the three, he stretches out the defense. You've got to guard him in a multitude of areas and space on the floor.
How have practices gone the last several days since y'all last played?
Yeah, I think we've had some good practices. We've without school, we've been able to to go a little bit more intense and a little bit longer, than we normally would. But we've got a lot of areas that we've got to improve in. Curtis.
Coach, I guess this is nothing that you can control, but this is the third time now in less than a month that you've had at least 6 days or sometimes more between games. Do you feel like that's impacted the team's ability to catch a rhythm at all? And then how excited are you just to get back to the routine of 2 games a week?
Yeah, I mean, in the past, Curtis, the day's preparation have really helped us. That hasn't been the case this year. So I guess you could throw that excuse out there on rhythm, but in the past, the preparation time has really helped us. With this particular group, the preparation has not necessarily helped us. So maybe once we get past this game and we start getting into more of a rhythm, maybe that'll help this group. I think the only thing of any concern really is just playing Vanderbilt on Tuesday night.
And then Stanley had a good game for you offensively at Mississippi State. How has he looked the last few days? And do you think he's a guy who could start stacking up some good performances for you?
Yeah, I think with Stanley and with a lot of guys, it's consistency. I think that, as a coach and a coaching staff, you want to walk into a locker room pregame and kind of know what you can pencil in both offensively and defensively. And right now, through our first X amount of games, the consistency from player to player has not been there, which makes it difficult on a rotation. It makes it difficult on teammates to know what you're going to get from a nightly basis. So that's not any one particular play at all, Curtis. I think that, that's kind of been across the board right now with our roster.
Nick?
How have you seen, you've got about an hour over the last two games of Jackson Robinson on the floor. How have you assessed his last two performances in those last two games?
Yeah, I think, the thing that was most impressive about Jackson in reality was if you look at his rebounds going into the Mississippi State game, you would not expect against, a league opponent, first SEC road game, that Jackson would rebound like he did. And that, rebounding across the board for us was really important going into the game against Mississippi State, that we didn't want to just rely on our big men. And I think Jackson had 7 boards that game. And so in reality, as much as anything, that was important. Obviously, he went 2 for 7 from 3. But of late, he shot the ball well. Again, 2 for 7. We, probably got to knock down, 1 or 2 more in that segment. But defensively, he continues to evolve and improve. But again, I think the one thing, because, when you can rebound out of your small forward position, it certainly helps at the 4 and 5 spot. I thought he did a great job of being a physical rebounder, which is something that, maybe we didn't think that was going to be the case, and he went out and did rebound for us.
Do you think that he's such a young player, didn't get a lot of time at Texas A&M? This is kind of like his freshman season. Have you seen a lot of growth from start to where we are now?
Yeah, I think that's a great point that he's the youngest guy on our roster. When he committed here, we felt like he was going to be a developmental piece. You look down the road into next season, I think that, he's, with the experience that he's going to get this year, it's really important for his development. So he's gotten some starts under his belt of late because he earned it based on how he's played. And, I think that he's an important part today, and he'll be an even more important part as we look into the future and develop, a roster for next year as well.
Bob, follow up?
Eric, I assumed, you probably have different guys on Pippen, but I assume Devo would probably start off on him. How do you see that matchup? And, Devo and I guess just your defense against Pippen in general?
Yeah, I think it's, again, being disciplined, not going for his pump fakes, trying to keep number 2, Scotty Pippen, in front of you is really important. Trying to keep him off the foul line, having the ability to play the dribble drive and contested 3 are important. I'm sure we'll do it by committee, where several different guys will be on him so that it's not a steady diet of the same guy. And then I think most importantly, Bob, when you guard a great offensive player, it's, how do the other 4 players position themselves to be able to give help as well. It's not just a one guy's assignment. That's why basketball is such a unique sport with 5 guys. It's not a ton of guys, but you got 4 other teammates that can help you.
Vandy, they've had a pretty rough, last few years, but they're 8-4. They won at Pittsburgh. They beat BYU on a neutral floor. They seem like they're kind of, they're like, this is the best team they've had in a while. How do you assess their team overall?
Yeah, I think it's a really good team. I think it's a team that can beat anybody on any given night. I think that will happen for them this year in the SEC. I think Coach Stackhouse has done a great job building out his roster. And he's got, one of the best players in the league came back after testing the NBA waters. And this is a really good Vanderbilt team that plays hard and understands their roles. They got a shooter at at the power forward spot who stretches the floor out. Their center, number 42, plays very, very hard and looks like he enjoys his role of being a screen setter and a dynamic roller and a guy that pounds the offensive glass. And some of their guys off the bench, it looks like their roles have been clearly defined and clearly accepted. And it's a team that I think is a really good basketball team. BYU is one of the best teams on the West Coast, and they play hard and they play smart. And BYU's well coached, and obviously, Pitt's in the AC. They've had some really good wins for sure.
And anything new on Kamani? Is he still suspended indefinitely? And
Yeah, I mean, Kamani could be back with us. You know, I mean, he's on a day by day, you know, situation and, you know, I guess I'll leave it at that, Bob.
Has he been practicing with you guys then, I
Yeah,
assume?
he has practiced the last day or so.
That's good. Is your shoulder feeling any better?
Nope.
Okay, well, that sucks. Sorry to hear that.
It's
I
gotten
got,
worse.
it's been a while since you guys have played. Obviously, you want to get that bad taste out of your mouth in Mississippi State. Do you get a sense you guys, the team's pretty hungry to play, or how do you feel about their mindset, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been around long enough to know that whatever feeling you get from a practice today, there's a lot of non-correlation. I mean, there's been locker rooms where I thought even before tip-off, they're really ready to play, and then maybe not, that's not the case, and it's been the opposite as well. So I think we'll all find out at the same time, Bob. I think you'll find out how ready we are to play at the same time I do, and it'll probably, we won't know till the 40 minutes ends, because you could play a good first half like we did against Mississippi State, but it's a 40-minute game. So, you know, my feeling of how practice has gone, I don't know if that's a direct reflection. I do think that the guys have worked hard. I do think they've been focused. I do think they understand that, you know, we're 0-1 in league play, but I also think they understand that we have a record. What's our record? We're 10-3. So, you know, 10-3 is usually, you know, a decent record for anybody in college basketball or anybody in any sport. But, you know, we understand that we haven't played as well as we would have liked of late.
Okay, thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, Big Mike.